I'm going to show you exactly how I went from this to this in less than 3 years. So the first thing that I did when I was losing weight and I wanted to seriously lose weight was get a calorie counting app and track every single thing I ate throughout the day. And when I first did this, I literally still ate all the crappy foods that I did before, all the highly processed crap, all the Twinkies and stuff. I just ate 2,000 calories worth of it, so I still wasn't gaining weight. So technically, you could eat, especially if you're first starting off, I wouldn't say go onto a calorie deficit and cut out all the highly processed foods that you eat, especially if you're used to eating those foods all the time, just because that change is going to be too big for you. You want to change one thing at a time. You don't want to change all the food you eat and the amount of calories you eat of that food, because most likely your body isn't going to be able to adjust and you're going to end up quitting the diet. So the most important thing isn't actually going to be your diet specifically when you first start off. It's going to be the calorie deficit. So once you're 3 to 4 months down the road and you know that you can consistently eat at a calorie deficit and you've noticed that you've lost some weight, then you can start adding fruits into your diet, maybe vegetables, and then start adding meat, like pure meat, just like steak, chicken, eggs. And eating those foods is going to help you maintain muscle while you're still losing weight and losing the fat. But when I first started, I'm not going to lie, the first year that I was losing weight, I was still eating a bunch of crap. I was still eating garbage, 90% garbage. And I didn't start changing my diet until about 2023. So if you're used to eating just straight garbage, keep eating it, but limit it to your calorie budget. After you're on the budget for a while, then you can start changing your diet and eating healthier. And then eventually you'll just have all the processed foods cut out. The second thing that I did to change my appearance in only 3 years was going to the gym. And even though I lost 40 pounds in my first year, I wasn't very serious about going to the gym. At that point, I was only going to the gym 3 to 4 times per week. However, I noticed that even though I lost a lot of weight in my first year, that initial year, which was 2021, I lost a lot of weight between 2021 and 2022. I noticed that I had very little muscle mass. So I went from fat to skinny fat. And I had a little bit of definition, more definition. I looked better. But I was 160 pounds and my body fat percentage was still around 18%. I was like, okay, now I'm going to go onto a bulk. And while I'm on this bulk, I'm going to work out as hard as possible. And even at this point, I was still eating some garbage, but my diet was still a lot healthier than it was about a year ago. So when I was bulking, I made sure to work out as much as I could. And this is around when I started working out 6 to 7 days a week for an hour and a half. This actually started bringing me definition and results. So between 2022 and 2023, I gained a lot of muscle mass. And as time progressed, my diet also got healthier and I was working out more consistently. If you go on a calorie deficit, but you don't work out consistently, you're going to notice that you do lose weight, but you're not going to have the definition and the amount of muscle that you want. So it's super important that you're still going to the gym consistently. Now, I know I went into calorie counting before, but now I want to start getting into diet. Let's say you've been calorie counting for a year now, and you've done a good job, you've lost a lot of weight, but you notice your body still doesn't feel that good. You still have inflation in your body. You still get these weird like stomach pains, headaches, and most of those things is going to be because you're eating highly processed food. So the foods that you want to eat now are meat, vegetables, fruit, and olive oil, maybe honey, natural foods. So now you want to start avoiding added sugars, seed oils, and grains, and start replacing it with whole foods like fruit, vegetables, and meat. You might also want to consider taking vitamins and other supplements just to support and make sure you're getting the right amount of nutrients every single day while you're cutting. The third thing that I did was cardio. A lot of people say cardio kills gains, bro. Let me tell you, don't listen to those people. Cardio does not kill your gains. If anything, it maximizes them because cardio is going to make you a lot leaner. People who say cardio kills gains, it's just an excuse for them not to do cardio because they're lazy. If you're looking to get lean and you really want to see your muscles pop, cardio is such a great way to do it. It gets your heart beating, your body moving, and you burn more calories doing cardio than you do weightlifting. So make sure you don't skip cardio. Another thing that I did when I was on transformation was slowly declining the amount of time that I played video games. So around 2021, I was still like a big gamer. I'd hop on every day for 3 to 4 hours, and play with my friends, on Xbox. And it was a good time. It was fun, when you hop on Xbox and you're playing with your friends. But the thing is, you're going to realize that you need to make some sacrifices if you want to change who you become and who you are. Video games was one of the things that I did have to sacrifice in order to make more time for myself. So if you really want to go on a full transformation, consider making some sacrifices like video games. Ask yourself if it's making you lazy and taking time away, because for most people it is, and there's some people that can actually play video games for like 30 minutes to an hour a day, and they actually still get a lot done. But I guarantee you 90% of people, they just can't focus that well when they're playing games every day. Now, if you are in that weird 10% of people that can play video games for 30 minutes to an hour a day and then just get off right after that hour ends, if you have that much discipline, then I really wouldn't say that you should be getting off them. But for the other 90% of people, I would consider starting to decline the amount of time that you play on video games. And for me personally, in 2021, I was spending around 4 hours a day playing games. In 2022, it was probably around 2. And it wasn't 0 in 2023 because even though I didn't play Xbox, I had some computer games, and I would play this game called Hearts of Iron 4. And it was like a strategy game. And since I was on self-improvement, I was like, well, I'm allowed to play strategy games, right? And it was like a World War II strategy game that you like invade other countries and stuff like that. And I convinced myself, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to play any video games at all, at least it's going to be something where it's strategic and I learn. So I wouldn't play that game every day. I'd probably play it once a week. But when I did play it, I'd play it for 3 or 4 hours straight. It was just like a fun game for me, and it was challenging. So I'd really invest my time into that, maybe once or twice a week. But ever since this year came, I haven't played any games. So it really took me over 3 years to completely cut off all my video games. So I haven't played Xbox for over a year now. So if you're really looking to get an insane transformation, consider cutting video games out. And I'm not going to say do it immediately because you most likely aren't going to be able to, but slowly start to spend less and less time on the games and more time on the gym, working on yourself, working on your education. And maybe if you're in school, work more on getting better grades, work more on getting smarter and learning more. So truly consider eventually to just cut games off. And for me, when I stopped playing my Xbox, or I was only playing once a week, I just unplugged it and put it in the garage. Because I used to have it in my room, and it was just every time I walked into my room, like an urge to go play it. And for me, I actually quit relatively quick. It was maybe 2 months where I decided I'm going to play less video games, and then those 2 months passed, and I unplugged it. Another huge distraction, social media, right? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all these things. Most people have these apps because they want to feel validated by random people, and maybe they're looking for relationships. But those are like the 2 main reasons these apps exist. The thing is, these apps are nice when you're connecting with people and you see what they're doing, they see what you're doing, and you're interacting with a lot of people. It'd be nice if we really used it like that. Now these apps have become a huge distraction, and they were already pretty distracting before. But if you're like most people, you're going to be scrolling down the shorts and the reels hour upon hours every day because these are so stimulating and our brain wants more and more, and we begin to crave them. And we're like, on to the next one, just one more, just one more, just one more. And we say that over and over, and our brain keeps telling us, okay, let's just look at one more, see what it is. It's like the mystery of getting a random video. That's the thing, is when we don't know what the topic is, when we don't know what the video is, it's like a lottery. It'll show you a few boring videos, and then boom, stimulated. You get one that you really like, or a video that you really like seeing, and then it'll show a few more random weird ones, and then boom, another video. And then your brain keeps scrolling, looking for those hits of dopamine that you're looking for. And now almost every social media app has a shorts area or a reels area, whatever they call it. They're short form vertical videos that you scroll. And these types of videos are highly addictive and highly stimulating. And if you want to take your transformation seriously and they're distracting you too much, you're wasting too much time, and you feel like your brain's clogged and you have so many weird thoughts now in your mind because these apps are promoting certain ideas to your brain, I highly recommend that you delete these apps completely and even delete your account. Because if you want to go into a full transformation, For 90% of people, these apps aren't going to help them at all. And if you're telling yourself, no, well, I have friends here, or I have people that, I really care about on these apps, you probably also have those people you really care about cell phone numbers saved, and maybe they're in a WhatsApp group chat. It's just that you probably gained so much stimulation and so much external validation from these people that you really want to keep that, because you're addicted to those two things: stimulation, and maybe you're posting stuff about yourself and you want people to validate you. So if you truly want to go seriously into self-improvement and just completely change yourself, I recommend cutting these out too, because they're a huge distraction. And when you eliminate the distractions, you can spend more time on yourself, more time on work, self-improvement, your dream job, and your purpose. The next thing I did when going on my transformation was to change my surroundings. This is probably one of the most important things that I did that completely changed the way that I saw myself and the way that I thought of myself. Even though I was still fat and I was still young, this specific thing made me feel like a new person. And when you feel like a new person, you start to act like a new person. And when you start to act like a new person, you become a new person. So when you change your surroundings, the first thing it does is it eliminates the old distractions, the old things that used to distract you. So let's say you have a video game poster and you decided today, oh, I'm going to start quitting video games. There's still a video game poster in your room. That video game poster, every time you walk into your room, you're going to be like, oh, I like that video game. And then you start thinking about it, you get distracted, and your brain wanders off, and then before you know it, you're on social media scrolling. Maybe you're watching a YouTube video about that video game. The only reason you went onto social media that day, or you went onto YouTube, was because your poster was still in your room, and maybe you didn't even realize you looked at it, or you subconsciously saw it in the corner of your eye, but that might have subconsciously manipulated your brain to think about that thing and to go look for it online. So I used to have a lot of Legos set up in my room. I used to have posters of different things that the things that I liked at the time. I decided one day that I was going to completely clear my room from all the distraction, all the things that were my past self. So I decided to change my identity and to just clear my room of all these things. The next thing I did was fill my room with my new identity. So my new identity was self-improvement, purpose, working out, studying, all these things. So I filled my room with books, and I'd put them on the shelves, and I'd make them very visible. And then I started putting posters of self-improvement, posters of philosophies, ideas, and doing this completely changed the way that I looked at myself. So I changed my surroundings, then I changed my beliefs, then I changed my habits, and then my habits changed me. Anybody can adopt a new identity at any time. For some people, it really helps if they do it overnight, just one day. They completely overhaul their room. They completely change everything with their room. That's what I did. And for some people, they do it slowly. Maybe they take away that game poster distraction or this other distraction, and then they start putting up, self-improvement book, boom, self-improvement poster. And maybe they'll put up a poster of their favorite boxer, a poster of their favorite gym rat, a poster of their favorite entrepreneur. So when you start to change your surroundings, whether you do it all at once or you do it over time, your identity changes and then you become a new person. So the last thing that I really did a lot of when I was transforming myself was habits, right? And so for each one of the things that I spoke about today, they're essentially based off of having good habits, right? So going to the gym and working out, that's a good habit. Eating healthy, that's a good habit. Counting calories, that's a good habit. So the habits that are going to really help you out during this entire process are going to be reading, journaling, meditating, working out, and having a good diet and calorie counting, right? So these 6 habits. Of course, you can add on other good habits. These are just the core fundamental habits. The thing is, these habits are really going to promote your mindfulness. They're going to promote your gratefulness. And when you're more mindful and grateful, not only can you focus more, but you have more passion for what you do and what you work for. And by doing these things, you're going to be happier overall, and they're going to help you keep the motivation, especially when you start to see your change. The thing is, when you're doing habits, it's hard to see results, especially when you're first starting. It's hard to see results. It feels like it's so slow. You want to change instantly all in one day, and then boom, you never change because You try it out for a week and you quit. You stop doing it. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. Maybe you got up to a month and then you quit because you didn't see the results you wanted and you lost the motivation to do it. So I'm going to introduce you to habit tracking. Habit tracking is a great way to keep a record of where you are, how well you're doing, and really start to see progress on your goals. Habit tracking is a great way to keep you consistent, disciplined, and it also helps you completely change your mindset. Now, how do you track habits? It's actually super easy. Let me show you. So, this is my wall, right? This is what a habit tracker looks like. And then, yeah, this is my other stuff on the wall. And then up here, this is like a past habit tracker. These are my past habit trackers, right? And so these are like a record for me to keep being consistent, right? So making a habit tracker is super easy. Literally, all you need is paper and a pen, right? So let's say you want to start reading, journaling, meditating, and going to the gym every day. Those 4 things, right? All you would do is write the 4 things at the top of your paper, right? Read, meditate, journal, workout. You draw 4 lines downward. You draw a line for each one of these downward, right? Boom. Now, on the side, draw 1 extra line and have like a little gap here, like this, right? Now, start drawing lines vertically, like this, and number them 1, 2, 3, and then you keep going. So by the time you get down here, you'll probably be around like 20 or 30. So you can normally I write 1 paper for the entire month, right? And what you do is you stick this on your wall, right? Let's say it's the first day of the month. Okay, it's the first day of the month. Today I read and I meditated, but I didn't journal or work out. So that's all I would do. And then maybe tomorrow I do all 4. And then maybe the next day I don't read, but I meditate, and then I don't journal, but I work out, right? And so the goal is to get check mark on every single day. That's the goal, right? And I'm not even at that point where I can check mark every single day because nobody's perfect and you're gonna miss days, right? But the goal is to get as many check marks as possible. And when you first start off, you're probably gonna have mostly X's, X, 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 and then maybe you get 1 check mark. And then maybe the next day you get 2 or 3 check marks. And then maybe the next day you just completely fail and don't get any. But the thing is, over time, you're gonna start to see more and more check marks. And if you put that in a room, and if you put that up somewhere that you see every day, you're gonna be like, okay, boom, it's like a reminder, oh, I still need to do these things, I still need to check these off every day. And when you do those things and you check them off and you have like a perfect day, it's like such a great feeling because you did everything that you needed to do. And you know, you start to see more and more check marks and you get more and more consistent. So I recommend now, since you have the habits, you know what to do. Since I gave you this video, you know the things that you need to start doing. Put a habit tracker up, stick it to your wall somewhere that you see every day, and check mark the habits. This is one of the best ways to get consistent. And the thing is, no matter how far you are into self-improvement and your transformation, either if you're just a beginner or you've been doing it for years, it's still great to have a habit tracker because it helps you see the improvement and it keeps you motivated because you're like, wow, I used to not do any of these things. Now I just got 4 days in a row where I got check marks every single day. So I'm going to leave this video off with giving you an actionable task to do. So you can literally take this away, start applying it, and you'll see a difference in the way you live probably within 2 or 3 weeks. Make a habit tracker, stick it on your wall, write down all the habits you want to do. It doesn't just have to be the ones I showed you. Maybe you want to spend more time with your family. Maybe you want to work on conversations. Maybe you want to cold approach and speak to more people randomly. Anything. Write down that habit you want to start doing and Every time you do it, check mark it. My name's Justin, and remember, you deserve the consequences of your actions.